Hey guys, this is Gaijin Hunter, and we're back with we're starting a new series. This is called the EX series. And these are going to be series of episodes from post-game, where we're going to cover all the different bestiary, all the different monsters we haven't faced yet, the Arc Fiends, their stories, all sorts of fun stuff. So, since the last time we did a video, I did Alice's Maze last time, I did it one more time so that I can get more offerings that I haven't gotten before. So I went to floor 6 again. It's like 28 minutes and I think about 2,800 points. So it wasn't as good as the last run, but it did give me lots of intelligence. So I'm up to now 38. So just, do it a few times and you'll get up there. And that has unlocked, which is going to be the best stage or packed in the entire game. And I'll explain why. But this unlocked all sorts of stuff. So we have the Forgotten Packs Black. These are two sets of very hard endgame quests. If you notice here we got the Hour of Cinder Gray. These blacked out ones are all just ones that will eventually unlock. So for completing all of these, there's a very special sigil that you get. I can't quite remember the name of it, or I don't know it in English. And then there's another one here. So those are definitely going to be fun to do. These are going to be the 13, 14, and 15 star quests. The difference between the health, the way it scales, from like 12 to 15 is a huge difference. But you also get much higher rates at the very rare drop, which is plus. It's like the pallium of this game that you'll need to get some of the best sigils. So the reason why I want to go into 12, even though there's tons of monsters we haven't fought, so we could probably just go down to like age 1 and 2 and 3 and probably boost up our intelligence by just doing those. The reason why I want to go into 12 is because there is only one quest in this entire game that has unlimited spawning monsters, which allows you to level up very fast. However, to unlock it, you will need to have age 12, Age of Reformation. We're going to be doing Cinderella. There's actually quite a lot of final packs that were added after the game was released. And a lot of the upper ones require you to have killed either Bahamut, the invader, or Cinderella, I think up to 2 times, 4 times, 6 times, 8 times. So this is a monster you want to hunt several times. She pays out lots of good stuff. And if you notice, she's got 2 major branches. I think this is the one if we sacrifice her, and these 2 are the ones if we save her. This is the one we want. This is a quest against an Iron Virgin, but inside there is an unlimited fairy spawn before you even aggro the boss, which will allow us to get to level 100 in like 20 minutes. It's very fast, very easy, and this is going to allow you to play around with tons of different builds in this game. So I actually recommend unlocking it ASAP. So we're going to unlock it today. So the things that we have to go is we're going to do Cinderella, and then we're going to do Odin, which has its own story, which we'll read. And then that will give us a spell that's going to come in handy when we do the Iron Virgin quest. It's going to be fun. So let's go on and do Cinderella, because you guys have not seen her yet. She's pretty fun. Look at all these things about what happened with the the target's family. What happened? It happened while searching for the appointed victim. I met the monster's family. When they realized the identity of my appointed victim, they wept and begged me to stop. And now we have the monster. The appointed victim had attacked several towns and villages and claimed over 100 lives. Sheesh. Many people lost friends and family as a result. My inaction would mean the destruction only continued. What happened next? Did I sacrifice the monster or save it? I like the idea that they're telling you that your inaction will mean destruction, because there's so many people in modern days that think by doing nothing it absolves you from the responsibility of what happens, but that's actually wrong. At least in my opinion. I think if inaction is a decision. So don't worry, we will not be indecisive. We'll take this on. Let's go ahead and read the lore for Cinderella. 3 beautiful sisters once lived in a castle town. Their legs caught the eye especially, long and elegant and fair as any sculpture. They were famous throughout the town, those legs. Even the prince heard the tale, and he invited them to the royal ball. Prince hears that these girls with nice legs, he's like, yo, let's invite them to the ball. It's so bad. But only 2 of the sisters would attend. The elder girls bullied the youngest daily, so it was little surprise they forbade her from going. Instead, she would languish at home, burdened with chores. The youngest envied her sister's glamorous lives and dreamed of the ball nightly. The middle sister was quick to notice. Make me a new dress, she said, and I shall take you with me to the ball. She wore a sneer as she spoke, but her starry-eyed sister didn't notice. She began immediately. Desperate to attend, the youngest crafted a masterpiece. It was a dress any would envy. The middle sister was stunned, though her sneer was quick to return. She brazenly denied ever making the promise with her sister. The youngest was left speechless. How rotten could a person be? The girl was furious. Every sight and insult she'd endured rushed back, boiling over. Of all the selfish, petty, cruel, time after time after time. The youngest was thoroughly disgusted. She was upset at being tricked, but still more by the fact that she was related to such a woman. But she would take it no more. From a nearby woods, she fetched a centipede and mixed its poison into her sister's food. The middle sister grew ill until she was bedridden. The youngest saw an opportunity. She would have her secret wish. She would attend the ball. She donned the dress she made for her sister and borrowed shoes and jewels from the immobilized girl's collection. It was a masked ball. If she dressed the part, no one would notice. But everyone noticed her that evening. The mask hid her identity, but not the allure she exuded. Her gorgeous legs had every man in attendance slavering. They flocked like ants to a lump of sugar. The girl was thrilled. After that night, every time there was a ball, she would attend in disguise. In the blink of an eye, this mysterious masked beauty was famous. As she grew used to the attention, her demure nature changed. She began seducing men, toying with them for the span of a night. She never removed her mask, but her legs alone lured them in. All those who saw them up close agreed that this was a pair of legs fit to entrance the prince. For it was said that the prince was a great lover of legs. It's the word. I don't know why it's cracking me up. The lover of legs. It sounds like some weird title you would give yourself in a Monster Hunter game, with those words that you can jumble around. It was part of why the girl's sisters had forbidden her from attending the ball. They knew that of the 3 of them, the youngest had the finest legs of all. Even with her face covered, they knew. Show those long, slim legs and men would be hers. In time, the prince was bound to notice her and not them. Their envy would allow no other woman that place, not even a sister. For all their differences, the youngest still shared the same jealous blood as her sisters. She envied any woman who drew attention away from her, even a sister. The leg-loving prince had recently grown close to the eldest sister, which displeased the youngest. For human greed knows no bounds. Where simply attending her first ball had been enough for the girl, she now expected her choice of men, and she chose her sisters. Or perhaps it was revenge that motivated her, retribution for those years of abuse. She poisoned her eldest sister, just as she'd done before. Given the eldest's dress to wear, she could easily impersonate her. The devious plan was proof she shared their callous blood. So she stole the gown and set out for the ball. She was summoned to the prince's room, alone. He had no idea this masked beauty was another. The rumors of this fetish rang true. He caressed her legs with his cheeks, then began to lick her toes. Oof. It felt as if slugs roamed her body. His heavy breathing and slurping tongue sounded out in perverted harmony. Yet the performance was cut short before its climax when the prince suddenly stopped. These are not her legs. His love of legs was stronger than she'd known. Even masked, he'd seen through her ploy by the taste of her legs alone. Confronted by the prince, she fled his chambers. In her haste, she dropped a shoe. Days passed. The mysterious minx who deceived the prince was wanted throughout the kingdom. Whomever the shoe fit would be the guilty woman. Men were dispatched and the grand search began. The women of the town were gathered and tested. The girl panicked, sure she'd be caught. And then what? Would she be jailed, tortured, worse? Perhaps her recent rash of poisonings would come to light. She hurried to destroy the evidence. In her maddened state, she thought to crush her own legs, and so she took a large rock to them, splintering her bones. Barely conscious amid the pain, she wept bitter tears, partly from the sensations, but even more so at the loss of her perfect legs. That was when a strange sight appeared to her, a white chalice floating as it spoke to her mind. Pay the price and your wish shall be granted. The girl accepted its voiceless bargain. She may have wished to evade the law, but no. She had yet to truly give up. The prince would yet be hers. All three sisters believed a woman's worth was measured by the quantity and quality of the men she snared. The girl gave up her legs entirely. Next, she took something precious from her elder sister. Not the bedridden woman's dresses or finery, but the legs that had won the prince's heart. Given those, he would be hers. With new legs, she would also elude capture for her crimes. It took time to adjust to them. A sense of otherness remained, her sister's smell perhaps. But in a few days, her blood had circulated through them and they were hers from top to toe. The next ball came around. She donned her sister's gown and approached the prince again. Even so recently duped, he trusted her at a glance. And why not? They were, without a doubt, his love's legs. Yet still he saw through her deceit at first taste. You are not she. How? How could he have known? These were his sister's legs, and yet... Again she ran, eluding her pursuers. She fled to the heart of the forest. How? Thwarted, she gave up impersonating her sister, but she would not give up the prince. If anything, her obsession grew stronger. She would have him. She would prove her worth as a woman. She stalked women with beautiful legs, claiming them for her own, then imprinting the prince anew. But none met with his approval. These are not the ones, he'd say. No matter how beautiful, he sent them away. For she'd made a false assumption. He was an unparalleled lover of legs, yes, but it was not the appearance that excited him. He did not lick them merely in appreciation. Their flavor was a part of his enjoyment, for it was the unique scent they bore that fascinated him. Unaware of this, the girl still sought legs to please the eye, and at any cost, even the beauty of the rest of her form. She recalled the centipedes in the woods by her home, their countless legs, and so she replaced her lower half with that of a centipede. Surely the prince would find a pair of legs among so many to entice him. To enhance their beauty, she turned them to glass. She was a work of art. She felt his approval was assured. Yet at first sight of her monstrous form, he ran in terror. Duh. So she chases him even now. You imagine her chasing the prince? So she chases him even now, her countless legs never ceasing. Should she catch him, she'll ensure he gets a good long taste of them, whether he wishes to or not. That is just such a funny story. All the other ones have been like really serious and either sad or hopeful. This is just funny. Like, yes, let's transform our body into that of a centipede, and the lover of legs would be all for it. It's such a ridiculous notion. I love it. Okay, let's never thought I would say this. Let's kill Cinderella. But actually, we're gonna save her, so we can get the Iron Virgin quest. Acquiring raiment. Raiment may be found at the bazaar. To acquire raiment, you must fulfill the conditions of the trade. I'm probably mispronouncing that word, but it's just they just mean visual outfits. Okay, Cinderella. Your days are doomed. Oh, just so you guys know, offline I did pump up Sidra with a bunch of sigils I didn't need anymore. So she is now S rank, same with Sympatha. We'll replace Sidra once we get a Divine Arm 4 girl. She's 3. We're going to keep her though, because she's got good healing. That combined with Sympatha means that I can pretty much use as much blood as I want, and nothing bad is going to happen to me. I'm just going to be totally fine. So before I start using regenerous seeds, if I do use them, I'm definitely going to use this 200 plus attack to go crazy with my blood spells. Hopefully doing some big damage. Get out of the way. Trigger that now so I don't get hit by it later. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen. The girl with the most beautiful legs. Cinderella. Isn't she magnificent? Isn't she lovely? And the legs coming to the ground. Oh, it's too much. I love it. So we got to get the head on the back of her butt. Whatever. I think it looks like the prince, doesn't it?
I'm a little concerned. Are you okay? Are you sure you're all right? Do it push yourself.
Fall back. Let me take the lead. Don't forfeit your life. You have people to save.
No, don't overdo it.
It's hard because you want to lock onto the head, but you can't. If you lock on, you'll end up going at the middle of her body, which will knock you out of the zone you need to be in to hit the head. This head's got endurance. Man, break, would you? Sheesh. Is it not broken yet?
Time to protect yourself.
Wow. Maybe it has to be upset, or maybe it's just... Sheesh! That's a sight and a half, isn't it? The foot-licking prince coming at you. Disgusting. I'm sure this hunt is going to give like some of you guys nightmares. He's coming to lick my feet. Oh my gosh, no. Okay, so her 4 feet still need to be broken. She wouldn't be too happy about that, but we don't care, do we? This camera's probably a little bit disorienting for you. I apologize, but we need to break parts. Wow, that face is just... Okay, there we go. So let's take a look at our wonderful work. You weird fetish guy. I mean, I've got nothing against people and their fetishes, but like, when you're coming at me with that tongue, then yeah, I can complain. Out she goes. Oh, she got a long tongue too. Maybe she's into leg licking or something. What a bizarre episode this is. I imagine those are who, if you watch this video with just the, I promise I'll be useful to you, sheesh. If you watch it with just subtitles, you're probably thinking that YouTube has gotten it wrong. But in fact, it really is that bizarre of a story. So once I get to level 100, I'm going to go to Grim. Because I want to show you guys off different playstyles. And I think you've got the idea that blood is basically like dual blades. You just go crazy. Oh, I was so close to getting legendary too. Come on. And this would be a fun quest to use stuff like spells where you launch bombs at her and stuff. So the ballroom slipper, magic of Cinderella, crushes an area underfoot with glass shoes. Nice. The ballroom claw, awaken the magic of Cinderella, generate a shockwave by kicking. Okay. What happened next? I saved the monster. After all, I must consider, is the true evil human greed, or the world that births it? And it's true, right? I mean, she didn't start out like that. It's not really her natural disposition, right? She was bullied. I mean, so she lost her mind and went kind of crazy. And then once humans taste crazy, they can't stop. Fun. And that unlocks the Iron Virgin. This is the quest we want. This is what is going to get you to level 100 very fast. A cry for help. The monster had once been a sorcerer. It even had a familiar face. We'd probably fought alongside each other before. My heart started to beat a little faster. Yeah, so this one there, it's a salvation pack if you notice. It says to code be damned, save this monster. But before we do that, because I want to have some really easy good farming, and it would be really fun to read, we are going to learn about the first Persepius, and then what happened to him, because we're going to fight him. He was added in like update 1.3 for this game. So let's go into lore. We'll go down to about Avalon. We are going to read about, I would love to read all this in one shot. Unfortunately, that'll be its own video. I might do that, and I might just reread the section that I'm about to. But let's read about the first Persepius. According to existing texts, Avalon's founder was Persepius I. He is said to have been a man of extraordinary intellectual curiosity who had learned every spell there was. It was Persepius I who conceived of the Ars Magica late in his life. He wished to leave the vast store of sorcerous knowledge he amassed during his life to later generations. Driven by an intellectual thirst that could not be quenched simply by collecting spells, he also compiled all manner of learning from around the world. He was said to have read day and night, which led to claims that no one had ever seen him sleep. It is said that he often uttered the word omnipotent, and while no clear record remains, some say he was seeking to become an almighty being, or in other words, a god. Mortals could never approach the realm of the gods, for there is a limit to the store of knowledge they can memorize. The human mind is just too small to know everything there is about the world. Though keenly aware of mortal man's limits, Persepius I would not give up his quest for omnipotence. Memories are amassed in the mind. If they can no longer fit there, the brain, that reservoir of the mind, must be expanded. This sounds like Bloodborne. So it was that he expanded the region capable of retaining memories by making other parts of his body function like the brain. His arms, his legs, and even his chest were transformed into brains. But in doing so, these parts of his body lost their intrinsic functions, so that it was that he no longer had them. Even still, he could not learn all there was to know about the world by dedicating most of his body to memory. That led him to go beyond his own body. Persepius I had a horse named Sleipnir, which he had greatly cherished. In an effort to expand his mind, he fused his head to the horse's body. He was then able to use Sleipnir's brain to store his own memories. So it was he expanded his memory beyond his own body, but little by little he lost all self-control. He began abducting talented sorcerers and forcing them to become external receptacles for his mind, like portable SSDs, I guess. When those around him learned of this, they branded Persepius I a monster driven by the lust of knowledge, for knowledge. The Sorcerers Guild rose up en masse against the fiend, who had now been named Odin. At great cost of life, they managed to drive out the wicked creature that had once been the founder far from Avalon. It is said that Odin set off for lands far to the east. By some accounts, he was seeking new knowledge that can be found there, but no one really knows. So we get an idea that the first Persepius actually documented a lot of stuff and had lots of books, where obviously what they would end up doing in the future is just taking the soul of Persepius II, committing it to memory, and then just sacrificing him when the new Persepius comes to power. And they would pass it on that way, because you don't want to have all your knowledge in a book, otherwise the book can get stolen. Okay, so we're going to leave the lore at that, and we are going to go fight Odin. It's a cool hunt. So let's go to packs, and this is an additional pack, I think. This would have been near the end, so I'm going to go maybe like to like 9. Press triangle here. Look at all these. Here we go. So when Odin was added to the game, there was 3 quests. There was a high rank, extreme rank, and extreme rank one. 15 is going to be bloated as all get out. It's going to be, yeah, it takes place in the deciding grounds. That is a battle for the ages. I want to break all his parts because I really want to get a spell of his, which is going to help us farm much faster. So this is all about spells. That's what we're focusing on.
I shall save this impure world.
Ooh, we get a special camera. He looks like Persepius. I know that face from anyone. So let's buff up and get the 200 here. The only thing we need to worry about is there is a bleed over for damage, meaning that if I do a spell, or if I attack a part and I break it, but I did more damage than I needed to, that damage is going to seep over and to their overall life points. Great, I'm petrified. So it just means that it's easy to accidentally kill a monster too early without breaking all the parts, which kind of stinks. Man. Stop it. He really doesn't want me to use this, huh? Too bad. Oh, see, he's already... Gosh. We might just have to break his vial part and just rely on luck to get it. Let's do that. He's got a brain on the bottom chest of the horse. There it is. So that'll give us 2 drop items from him. We can get the regular one or we can get the rare drop as well. We're guaranteed to get the rare drop if we break all parts, which I don't think we're going to do here. We're too strong for that. I suppose this is a unsatisfying way to show off the boss because this is a weaker version of him. Because, like, in his extreme versions, he is really badass. Well, the thing is, you can't sacrifice or kill him. It just ends. So, that's why that happened. Let's see if we can get his spell, though. It's a special one that creates, like, a... I call it a bug zapper. It reminds me of, like, a mosquitoes zapper you put on, like, your porch. At least in America we had those. See if we got it. We did. Okay, good. So this is what it is. It's called the Founder's Scrap. So the magic of Odin summons a book that auto-fires homing projectiles. So it lasts for almost a minute at gold. We can cast it 8 times. But the thing is we're going to be saving the fairies that are going to be infinitely spawning anyways. So we're never going to run out of casts. I might actually edit part of this to be its own video, just because I think it's so important for people who want to play around and have fun, because some of these, man, some of these quests are hard. But lots of good reasons. So, we're going to do an ironclad prayer. This is the one that has the unlimited spawning fairies. But I do find that, like, the divine groupies will generally stay back. They're not the type to just go run in there and aggro the boss. Sometimes they do, though, and if they do, then just put on your armor. For some reason, the Iron Virgin is smart, and she knows who has armor on and who doesn't. And she'll go beat the daylights out of anybody who doesn't have armor, and she'll largely ignore you, which is kind of funny. Okay, so let's see some of these spells, shall we? Okay, so this is just a horn weapon for smashing people. Psh, 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 psh. So it's got a 4-hit combo. If you notice, the 4th hit is very long. Probably does a lot of damage, but we can probably just triple it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And if we hold long, dong, eat the goat. Well, it's a ram, I think, so it's not a ghost. But hey, what does the siren one look like? It's another stick of mouths. Same deal for this one. I think it's the same type. It just grows really big. Oh yeah, this is kind of what I want to get into. It's like a mid-range long-distance build where you put in like boosters so you can charge these things, and that'll be really fun. Ooh, this is the thunder one. That's really cool. And you cannot charge these things. You got to actually use the terrain magic. And I will show you the Odin spell in a second. So, the point that we need to think about is right here. That middle area, there's going to be 3... You see the 3 fairies that spawn? So we're going to put this right in this middle area. We don't want to go beyond... I'll show you where the boundaries are. Watch the bug zapper go, though. It's just going to... These 3 fairies will infinitely respawn as we sacrifice and gain essences. We do not want to aggro the boss. Hopefully none of our NPCs will, as long as we can keep up Odin. You see it? It's just bug zapping them. It just automatically kills them. So all we have to do is go around and collect life. Okay, let's go ahead and use my black right so you can see how awesome this is. Rip that. So I can hit a blast here. They've got my heart, so they're going to come over here and they're going to pull out swords from my heart. It's so good. I can blast, so if anything gets near me, I can kill it and protect those who are coming up to pull swords out of me. But basically, it's up to them to just go and whoop some butt with me. Woo! Counter madness achieved. Okay, so heart damage and half health. That's fine. So now when we go over here, we can see a thing called the Rite of Transmutation. This allows you to sacrifice all 100 levels of you, or 99 levels that you have, and you'll get a heart sigil. This is a brand new slot. It doesn't it doesn't overtake anything else. And if you notice here, you have to be the membership of the one that you want. So I'm going to quick over here and switch over to Grim. This will cost some lacrim. We are now a member of Grim. Sorry, Gravity Days girl, but I am going to change your outfit. We can also start using Mage as well, because she is Grim, and she will not be mad at us if we do not kill. We just leave it up to fate. But now anything that we do collect will be given as faction points to Grim. Let's go ahead and sack it. Now the question is, do I want to increase weapon so that I could just focus on using throw in my other ones? So that's 110%. And you can do this up to 10 times. It just goes from like 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and then to 50. So you get a maximum of 150, but you have to give 1,000 levels to do it. Trust me, you're going to do it eventually if you get hooked. So you can see all the ones that are really pushing you towards Grim is going to be homing, special. I didn't realize special was Grim. Interesting. Throw, mines, terrain, arboreal, which is the trees and stuff. Group. You got all these like vanilla ones. Spatial, which I still don't know how to use. Rising. There we go. So, I think the best thing to do is probably the best thing to do is do weapon, just so I can focus on the throw stuff, because the weapon is going to be a good beat stick no matter what. Like, I can't see us never wanting to use melee weapons because they're so powerful. So I'm going to go ahead and get weapon for now. Oh no! See, life gets sucked right out of you. But you always are left. There we go. And we get this. This is the most important thing here. We get, for 5 hunts, we get EXP XXL, and it's a medium size, which means you can have 2 of these equipped at once, which means I'll be able to get from level 1 to 100 in like 18 minutes, maybe less, maybe 15 minutes. But it's good for 5 packs, and every time we're going to get to 100, so in theory you should never run out of those. So let's carve a heart sigil. So heart sigils can provide huge boosts to offering power based on your faction's beliefs. Only through the Rite of Transmutation can you increase the number of heart sigils you can use. Yeah, that's kind of a weird translation, because you don't increase the number of heart sigils you can use at one time. It means it's only through transmutation that you can increase the heart sigils you own. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, so we got our weapon in here. And the breast in my heart belongs to weapon. I believe in beating on stuff with sticks. I like that. That's 110 attack up. That's great. So now if you notice, we just lost all of our bonuses because these are all sanctuary based. That, and we have a neutral arm now because we're level 1 and 1. The moment we level up something else, it's going to be unbalanced, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to use fate for everything. So when you're Grim, you definitely want to use just fate. Fate will raise both your spirit and your magic at the same time. That way you're never in a deficit, because all your extra bonuses only trigger when you have a neutral arm, which means equal levels. And you will easily lose that if you sacrifice or save. let me show you that terrain I was talking about. So you put down the little terrain, then you bring out these things, and it supercharges them. And now they're supercharged. You see the 77 there? That's how much. It goes up very fast. 160. We'll fade it. So let me switch over to Odin. I do not want Cinderella to aggro him, so I'm going to stay back a little bit. Do it here. If she does aggro the boss, we'll live. But hopefully she doesn't. Our bug zapper is doing its thing. Just zapping the fairies as they spawn. One thing you can do in order to speed up the process of getting sigils, because they are tied to your usage, is while you're doing this kind of stuff, you can just like sort of summon a weapon, get rid of it, press spell off, and it counts as a cast. So I just cast that 3 times. And then by doing fate, I'm going to be restoring 2 usages, so I should never run out. One really good thing about this game is that the scaling as you get towards level 100 really doesn't get bad. So it's not like it just gets super progressively harder to level up. I actually find it pretty decent. There we go, we got 100. So the cool thing about Grim is that it doesn't care what points you got. It doesn't care how good you did. It's all random. You know, first rate, second rate, legendary, doesn't matter. So you can get lucky, you can get unlucky. Depends. We did get the Iron Virgin Soul Essence plus. That's nice. And because we were leveling up to 20, I think, and 40 for magic, we unlocked Excalibur and Lucifer. So I am interested in playing around with other types of builds here, so I'm going to go to the Throw one. I'm going to go ahead and unlock the Heart Sigil for that. And then I think the next one I'll do is Explosive. And I'll just start playing around with stuff as we show off new monsters. So, all 100 levels. It was nice knowing you. Goodbye. But you'll see now that we've done the Rite of Transmutation a second time, we do get another one of those Experience XXL medium slot ones. There it is. Which means now in theory, as long as we don't accidentally keep it on, we'll always be able to put 2 of these on when we do level 100 grinds, which will make it very fast. Combined with the Odin special attack, you'll be able to farm fairies and defeat the Iron Maiden in like 18 minutes. That's not bad for getting to level 100. So it allows you to try out lots of different builds because when we go over to Avalon for the first time, we're not going to have any heart sigils that have to do with the major spells that are specialized in Avalon, so we're going to want to do it again. That, and just doing hunts for grind for sigils is great, but when you're already at level 100, it does feel a little wasteful to have all those experience points go to waste, but this is by far the best way to level up in the game. So don't worry, I'm not going to show me grinding to 100 again. That's not very fun, but I do want to show you how fast it goes and the amount of experience points that you get when you have these 2 XXLs on. I actually wasted one of these. I went up against a Dullahan, and I think I accidentally did not take it off. So it's only valid for 3 more times, but that's fine, because we'll be getting to 100 in just 1 pack anyways. So that's the setup you want. Let's check out the experience points. Yes, if you notice, even just the goblins or the orcs or whatever, like, it's all in the hundreds now. Instead of having like 70 EXP, remember it was like 11 at start. With 1 XXL, it was 71, and now they're in like 120s. They can go up to like the 200s. Like, it's a huge difference. So you definitely want to be using 2 of these things. Let's see what this fairy is. Yeah, 253. So it's going to be very fast. Okay, so I have recorded hours of footage and I ended up deleting it because I realized I was starting to make guides on how to do stuff, and that's not the point of this series. The point of this series is to show off the cool stuff. So, let me show you where I've gotten and what we're going to do to finish off this episode. So we did end up doing Alice twice, so we did increase our intelligence. We're up to like 42 now, which means I'm slowly unlocking all of these extreme rank quests. The big thing, though, that I want to be doing here is in 12, we do have a Gargoyle, and this is one of the grinds that I've been doing over the last hour or so, so I wanted to show at least just one of them, because I think that it's fun. But let me show you my current loadout. So, I am using the Dullahan armor. I did get that up to black. I still have gold apples instead of black ones. I did get the Minotaur weapon. This is considered by pretty much everyone to be the best weapon in the game. It was actually busted when they first released it. It was 300 power and they had to nerf it. Even so, it's still more powerful than pretty much everything out there. It's very long reach, good damage. It's just the best. So I am looking forward to getting this up to 3-star. So it only has 3 casts at this point, but it does last for over a minute and a half, so that's perfect. And then just for fun, because I haven't shown it off yet, we are going up against a Gargoyle who is weak to poison. So what I plan to do here is use this Beast, which is another Grim type of spell, to put on a Beast Arm, and we're going to poison it. And if we poison it enough times, it'll go into what is called an Elemental Hell, which means that you have like sent it over the limit. And then when it's over the limit, if you hit it with the opposing element, which is stone, in this case, it'll do massive damage to its weak point, if you know what I mean. So I'm bringing around the stone. It's a lot to bring as just one player, but it's fun and it's different. Of course, I am playing as Grim, so getting more points for doing this stuff means absolutely nothing. And here's my current right arm. I have actually gotten... did some grinding to get it up so we can get the Force Surge 3 or 2. So this one just required me to keep killing Dullahan several times in order to get the bad luck and get just the regular soul essence. I still want this one very much, but this is going to be some chimeras and some toadstools. I did get one of the Grim seals because I'd been hunting so much that I end up reporting points, and like 200 or 300 points I managed to get one of these. The reason why I'm using this is because it gives me the balanced resonance. So the 250 I'm actually not that impressed with, obviously. What I want is the balanced resonance, because that's what's giving me the additional 40% weapon attack. So for the weapon ones, we have gone and boosted these quite a bit. We're at 5 and 4 right now, which required some lizard man farming, and the pied pepper stuff I already had, which was good. As I use this more, I should unlock the Gleaming Sigil 6 and 7, because my intelligence is high enough, I think, to get them. It's just that my usages of weapons is not at like 300-400, because you generally use a weapon and you only use it like once or twice, then you just wail on a monster. So it's a little bit harder unless you're intentionally casting it over and over again to unlock the upper tiers. What I really want to do, though, is get rid of this. The palm. Grim has one of the best palms in the game, in my opinion, which is if you go down here, we have these demon sigils, which increases your attack and your defense, but your attack more. But number 5 only is associated with Grim. So this gives you 50% attack up and 40% defense up. That is insane. It's really good. So this requires just 1 soul essence +++ and 1 life essence +++. So these are the very, very rare drops from Gargoyle. So that is what I am hunting for. And so that's what we are up to. So I'm going to show you what I've decided now that I've recorded so many times and I've deleted it. I think what I'm going to do is make sure that I'm not doing tutorials, that I am trying in principle to fight extreme versions of all the monsters that we haven't seen yet, Because fighting the lower rank versions at this point, they're just going to die really fast. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go for the elemental hell. It's not something that I personally go for usually. That's just a very different playstyle, but I'm probably going to end up getting used to it and using it more often. Armor up. Yeah, we'll put on the feather as well. So this is the beast claw. If you notice here, it's a little hard to see, but it's like an arm of the monster, and you can use it to do thrusts, or we can hold it down to do breath attacks. It's just like spraying them with like a fire hose. It's pretty funny. Okay, Venomous Hell. So now we're going to switch over to this and watch this. Boom. That is some big damage. I know you don't see the damage numbers, but trust me, that is a lot of damage. Come back here. I probably should go in here and like care about breaking all the parts so I can make sure that I'm completing my Ars Magica, but at this point I know I'm going to be fighting this thing several times because I need both the Spirit Essence +++ and the Soul. I think I'll have better luck at getting them as long as I Fate kill it, so I'm just going to end up doing that. Oh! You see the explosion when you're in extreme rank? That's what happens. It's that powerful. So it becomes harder to just like tank it and go after monsters. You really do have to start paying attention, which is nice. Ooh, 2 Testament Elves. These things are a real pain in the butt to get because unlike Sanctuarium or Avalon, you're not really guaranteed to get specific things. So sometimes you don't get them, and that's really annoying. Ah, we got the ++, darn it. Oh well, but we did use our melee weapon enough now to unlock Gleaming Sigil 6. And we got the Gargoyle Slayer. So the general rule of thumb is that if you are farming a monster, it is generally considered better practice and more power to arm yourself with the killer one than anything else. So for example, the 40% boost that I get here, I should probably swap that off for the, where is it? The Gargoyle Slayer. I lose 31% attack up on my weapon, but this will give me more. I don't know the actual number, but it's considered by people who have tested it to be much more powerful. Plus it lessens the damage you take, which is nice. So let's see if I can actually get... I don't think I can get the other one. So this is the game asking me to grind some more. So number 6. Oh man, look at how big that is. Because when you take an upgrade, you're going to be taking the lowest one, which is 65. And this one is 105. So that's a huge jump. This one we need 3... let's see. Snow White Essence, Life Essence ++. We need 3 of them. And we need 1 from Cinderella. That doesn't seem too bad. That's going to be a fun offline grind because we've seen those monsters before, so. That was fast. So hopefully that gives you an idea how fast you can brute force it if you have, if you don't mind less varied gameplay. I wonder how many minutes that was. Three minutes and 25 seconds, yeah. So if you want to be super aggro and you put on the Slayer, which is... This is such a good idea. I hope Monster Hunter does it, actually. I like the idea that once you've collected you know, rare drops from the monster. Let's say you got its pallium, you got its orb, or let's say you've killed it or captured it, I don't know, like 10 times. It would be nice if there was like a little thing that activated that makes it a little bit easier for you to kill the monster because you have mastered it, so to say. I like the idea. So while the game has RNG, it's constantly trying to give you ways to trying to reward you for your efforts. Did we get it? Nope. We got the regular Life Essence Plus. Oh well. That's how it goes. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy hunting.